One thing that I've been reading about and learning recently is the idea that our souls will give us challenges in each of our lifetimes in order to facilitate both personal growth, right, in that lifetime, as well as spiritual growth. And this idea has really opened my mind and given me new perspective on some of life's biggest challenges. And let's be honest, I don't think anybody has ever gone through life without a single challenge, right? I think that is the fundamental nature of human life is you are going to be challenged in some way. You're going to be faced with some sort of trauma. You're going to be faced with some sort of obstacle that you will have to either overcome or face in a lifetime. And many times it is multiple challenges, right? Not just one singular one. And the biggest challenges that we face are the ones that give room to the most amount of growth. And this might sound a little bit hard to believe, but even the biggest challenges, the ones that leave you physically wounded, emotionally scarred, right? Maybe your body is unable to move or disabled in some sort of way. They are there for a reason, right? That happens for a reason, and that reason is to facilitate our growth. And to embrace that suffering, right, to embrace that pain and transmute it is one of the highest callings that we are given in our lifetime. And it all starts with shifting the way that we see challenges, right? Shifting the way that you view the events that have happened in your life. Because we all have the power to write our story, right? We all have the power to choose our own narrative. And one of the biggest and most powerful shifts that anybody can make is the shift from victimhood to sovereignty. The ability to choose how you want to react to the things that have happened and the events in your life. And I just want to take a moment to explain to you how powerful that shift is. Because all of reality, right, all of what we experience is filtered through the lens of our mind. And in that way, our reality is created in our mind. It's not just what happens in the external world. Those are facts. Those are events that have actually occurred and will occur. But what goes on in here is how we feel and how we think about what has happened. And no matter how hard it seems, right, no matter how much hardship that you've gone through or anyone has gone through, you can always change the narrative in your mind into a more empowering one. In one of the stories that I read most recently in a book, there was this woman that was on the receiving end of a time bomb. Essentially, it was a bomb that exploded in her face. She was very, very close to it. And she wasn't the intended target, but it happened so that she obviously got hit by the bomb and she was completely messed up, right? She was obviously hit by a bomb. And to go through an event that is as traumatic as that, I can only imagine what were the thoughts and the feelings that this woman had, right, towards herself, towards the world, towards the person who made the bomb and planted the bomb. I can only imagine that they weren't very nice and happy thoughts. And yet, somehow, this lady, this woman, was able to forgive not only herself, right, for the accident, but also the bomber, right, also the person who caused this horrendous injury onto her. And as she recovered, she went on to being an inspiration to those around her, as well as people who have gone through similar or other traumatic experiences as well. And I tell this very extreme and traumatic story to really highlight how it is possible to transmute, trauma and suffering and pain into self-acceptance, into love, into growth, and into inspiration, right, for yourself and for others as well. And we all have stories like this, right? Perhaps not as extreme, perhaps not as traumatic, but we all have suffering, right? We all have pain that if we are able to figure out a way to transmute, not only can we help heal ourselves, but ultimately we can help heal others and we can help heal the collective. And I'd like to ask every one of you that is watching this video, where in your own life do you experience suffering, right? Where in your own life do you experience pain or fear or hurt or anger? And do you allow yourself to maybe start writing a different story, right? Maybe start to process some of those more painful moments, right? Those painful emotions in life. Are you willing to transmute that? Are you willing to, give yourself the grace to change your own story? And maybe even one day share it, right? So that others can be inspired by your transformation. And for me personally, I know that's a big part of why I make these videos, is to share all of the lessons that I've learned in the hopes that it will help at least, just one person. And just to wrap up the video, I want to tie it back to the idea that many of us, right, most if not all of us, will have a few major lessons that life calls upon us to learn, at least in this lifetime. And it's up to us to figure out what those lessons are. And it's up to us to be able to internalize the message, right? Internalize the mission that our soul essentially has sent us on in this lifetime. So I'd like for you to think about what those lessons are for you to learn about personally, because everybody's lessons are different. For me at this stage of life, it is about self-love and self-acceptance. And before I go, I just want to give you a heartfelt thank you and appreciation for supporting the channel. One of my last videos has really taken off, and I appreciate every single one of you who has liked it, who has watched the video, and has commented. Even the ones that are hate comments, I appreciate those as well, and I hope you have a great day.